Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us for week number 76 of the weekly Light Bulb Moments Financial Roundtable. We hope you have some light bulb moments today. Remember, money's not the most important thing in life, but it is like oxygen on the gotta have it scale. I'm here as your host and curator from Qnity. We're wishing for the greatest prosperity, success, and financial success that you can have for you and your teams and your communities. We're here to not only help you earn more money, but do what you love and have a great quality of life. Go from what's confusing, overwhelming, and complicated to a simple path. Old rules versus new rules, the new rules, and this is what we try to follow at Qnity, is simple, visual, and actionable. And remember to prosper, manage your ATM. This is a return on investment concept. Attention, time, and money. These are our three currencies. We want to thank you for spending your precious attention and time with us. And glad you joined us. Past recordings of this are on YouTube and in the Profit portal. We have merged the school and the Salon Roundtable, which I'm super excited about. They need to be looked at as one ecosystem, and it's great to be able to see schools and salons interact in a new and different way. Last week, we had the CEO of Forrest, Ronan Percival, a great guy, great share, a very humble guy, very generous guy. Very much enjoyed that session with Ronan last week. If you weren't part of it, go to our YouTube channel and check it out. This week, we're going to include multiple people. I've circled a few of the people that are going to join us today. So this is going to be Clubhouse style. We've got some really great, impactful shares coming your way from a few people, which I'll get to in a little bit. They are members of our Brain Trust. So we're tapping into our Brain Trust today for light bulb moments. Question, have you registered for the Phil? If not, please go ahead and do so. It is coming up May 16th and 17th in Scottsdale. And at that time, we'll also have a Sunday evening event that's a celebration of light bulb moments, celebrating all of you who have been part of this community over the last couple of years. So please be sure to join us at the Phil. We're going to go through opportunities to fill the gaps in 5 specific areas of your business as it relates to execution, profitability, growth, leadership, and engagement. We also will be celebrating several members of our community. We have several people that have already submitted their, I guess, application, I'd call it. If you have not submitted an application to be recognized and honored for the impact that you've made in your business and your community, go ahead and do so. I believe the expiration is coming up on Monday, I think. We've already had a lot, but we'd love to hear from more of you. And so please go ahead and do that. I believe the way that you do that is you go to our website and then you just simply click enter now. Very simple. Go for it. Also, the Phil is an opportunity to fill your bucket, get away from the business and rejuvenate and do things that you know you need as a leader to be able to have a clear mind. Now, Erin is off on her little fill her bucket right now. This is a picture of her yesterday. She's off in Norway. She says hello. She's on her home right now. And she got to see the Northern Lights. How cool is that? You know what? You just got to get away now and that. So Erin's going to come back on fire, as she usually is anyway. And hopefully you'll come back on fire after the fill. So if you haven't registered, go for it. Also, heads up, watch for Money Pro. It's financial wellness for employers of choice. We've been talking about that quite a bit. Watch for some special announcement coming up soon as we really bring financial wellness to the professional beauty industry in a new and unique way. Financial literacy is a big topic these days in the global economy, and we really need to start at the ground level, person by person, and make this kind of information accessible to members of this great industry. So again, hope you have some light bulb moments today. Tom's top of mind. You know, I've got all sorts of things that are top of mind. We have such great guests, but a couple things that I really would love to see if maybe some of you could put in the chat is the concept of a revenue center. How many revenue centers do you have in your business? So maybe we'll get some comments here. And what is a revenue center? Well, a revenue center, couldn't a revenue center be a human revenue center, a service provider? Couldn't a revenue center also be a department in your business? A revenue center also could be a cluster of certain activities that aggregate into a revenue center, such as color. Color can be a revenue center. Cutting can be a revenue center. Spa, nails, aesthetics can be revenue centers. And we don't talk much about revenue centers, but a revenue center is something where you can quantifiably designate revenue based upon certain metrics and some defined unit of measurement, whether it's an individual or it's a department. So a lot of different nuances on that. So I'm curious, what are the revenue centers in your business? Let's get a few to jump in the chat. And then the other thing that's top of mind for me is what is the average W-2 for service providers in your business? We are actually doing some informal studies that may actually turn into a more formal study about true earnings. And what I can tell you is that in my, I don't know how many years it's been a lot of years in this industry, but understanding compensation and paycheck is a big challenge. And it's a big challenge to employers because most individuals underestimate their compensation. They look at what their take-home pay is, they don't look at their gross pay, and they discount certain things that are quantifiable areas of the compensation package. So we're doing some studies around that with some of our accounts, and would love to hear more about, have you looked at the average W-2 for your service providers, and then also calculated their number of hours to see what that W-2 earnings would be if they were full-time. So anyway, these are a few things that are top of mind for Tom as we really try to further communicate why this is a first choice career, using the terminology from Beauty Changes Lives. So anyway, these are some things. So Heather Allen says hair, waxing, lashes, extensions, boutique, and retail products. Excellent. Vanessa, keeping it simple. Salon, spa, and retail. Yep. Tracee, the entire business is a revenue center, but breaking it down with the spa, salon, and the retail area. But don't you have a revenue center of one? Isn't each individual in your team a human revenue center? Let's think about that a little bit. All right. I've got other things top of mind for me, but right now, what I want to do is I want to get to some of our guests, and Michelle will be quick on the draw. She's going to need to give people a panelist opportunity. So Michelle, why don't you invite Tammy to the screen? It'll take a second here. So this is Tammy Coakley from Spa Bleu. I've got a few other things before I'm going to bring Tammy into the conversation. Remember, this is a clubhouse style. If there's any others that want to contribute today, go ahead and give a chat to Michelle, and we'll get to you. All right, now, so I'm going to move the share away, and we're going to talk to Tammy. Tammy, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Tom. How are you guys?
Doing good. So you are live from where?
I am in our West Dundee location, in my office.
So West Dundee, Illinois.
Illinois, yes.
So the next person that's going to share with us is Tracee, who her chat said, welcome to cold North Texas. Cold North Texas compared to West Dundee and Chanhassen, Minnesota means something a little bit different, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Anyway, we're not going to get into weather. We're going to get into the care team. So anyway, snowing in Colorado. Oh gosh, why do you have to bring up Colorado to me? I miss Colorado. I need to get to Colorado, Kristen. Okay. All right. Staying focused here. Tracee, you have a great business. You have 2 locations in the western suburbs of Chicago area.
Yes.
And many might recall your share as a member of the Brain Trust. Oh gosh, it had to be 4 or 5 months ago when you talked about something that it was a benefit that you were bringing to your team that addressed mental health. And it's something called the CARE program, I believe. You also were a conversation starter at the 2 to 10 project, where you went through it a little more depth. What's new about today is you have given permission to share some data, and I find it fascinating. So why don't you just give like a quick minute introduction into what this program is, and then together we'll go through the data next, okay?
So we call it a care team. It is a marketplace chaplain service, so it's national. But we call it a care team for our team because, based on spiritual beliefs and things like that. But basically, it is a service to our team, their families, and our guests, where they download an app, and that app has phone, email, FaceTime, and I think that's pretty much it. So there's 3 or 4 ways they can get in touch with our 3 assigned care partners. Our assigned care partners, we have 2 female, 1 male, and they pop into our locations generally about once a week, just for FaceTime. So it's not that they're very careful about getting in our way and disrupting our groove, right? But they just walk through, they say hello, they'll have a cup of tea. If anybody's open that hasn't met them, usually the leaders will introduce them. But it's very organic, I'd have to say, which was one of my concerns when we started it. And so it's been honestly a great tool. I believe our team finds a lot of value in it. It was just overwhelming. I know our team was overwhelming, and that is why we were looking for something. I had a couple of team members come to me looking for help, and I know they couldn't get in with their counselors for like 30 days and they were looking for some serious help. So I just felt that wasn't acceptable for somebody that really needs help right now. And so that's what got me started on looking what's out there. There has to be something out here for my team.
Wonderful initiative and great summary. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up some data on the screen here, and it's in small print, so we'll have to read it to the group in case they can't see it. Certainly, just want to reinforce that privacy has been protected. There's no names and all of that. So let's go through some of the findings. I think it was a quarterly report. I'm going to pull it up. And I remember looking at this and I thought, wow, this is like amazing here. I mean, amazing information. So play from the current slide. All right. So this is an activity breakdown from August through December. And it looks to me like there was altogether, a chaplain was engaged 7 times. It was 7 times, it was a confidential conversation. And some of the things that I didn't even notice is finances and family were 2 big areas. I know you also mentioned that there was a jail-related usage of this.
Yeah, so there is, I think there was actually a jail-related visit at 1 in each location. So they will go to hospitals, jail, pretty much wherever you need them to go, they will go. So I found that interesting because honestly, I still have no idea who, and so I think what it made me realize is you think you hear so much from your team, but there's really a lot of people dealing with things that you have no idea about. And the 2 jail visits, I think were pretty shocking, not shocking, but just like, oh, I'm surprised I wouldn't know who would would need that. Right. So I just found the information. And again, I like the fact that it is confidential. So the only way they break confidentiality is if you're in danger or if that particular person is in danger. Other than that, like you can see here, we have no idea who's utilizing them. All we know is how many.
And so what we have on the screen is one side is one location, the other side's the other location. We don't need to get into which is which.
Right.
When you read this, when you first saw this report, what was your reaction?
My reaction was, honestly, I was a little bit surprised that because we just rolled it out, and they were getting to know the system. I wasn't expecting it to be utilized as much, honestly. I thought it would take a little bit more time to you know, for the team to gain some trust on it. And I really was not expecting these kind of numbers, honestly.
So the usage was more than you expected.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And because I'm seeing in one location, there was 35 people, another location was 25.
Mhm.
And, you know, they got into family, grief and death, health and illness, anxiety, fear, finances. And you can see multiple types of communication: email, text, phone, in person. Any other comments about this? And I'm also looking in the chat to get any reactions or any questions you guys have for Tammy about this. So any questions for Tammy on this? And then Tammy, any other thoughts on this?
No, I just, I can't say enough about it, honestly, you know, or some type of system like this. I just think,
Yeah, Christine asked, how do you, the guest piece for me was something that confused me. So Christine, who's going to be a guest shortly with us today, she asked the question, how do you communicate with guests about this?
so at the time of this discussion with our care team, we did not have any guests utilize it. I know you guys probably have heard many stories of guests talking with your team about really some serious issues. We have referred it. Obviously, you know, there has to be that kind of trust built with the service provider as well as the guest. So it's not like you want to just go referring it, you know, to anybody. But there has been some situations of a loss of a loved one, you know, as just you know, you guys know the terrible things that you hear. And so what we do is we have brochures, we have business cards. We can even contact the care team and say, you know, hey, I have this guest or team member coming in on such and such a day. I'd love for you to do a walkthrough. If they can, they will. They can't always do that. That way you can make that one-on-one introduction. But yeah, so as of the time of this report, we hadn't have any guests that used it yet, but we had team members come back and say, hey, can I get a brochure, you know, that kind of thing.
Would you be willing to share the cost of this program?
Yeah, so it is a per employee cost, but like I said, it is it can be utilized by our guests as well as their families. And it costs us about $500 a month, a little 520, 518 around there, for both locations. So
Now,
not per location, just total.
Now, if you, so about $500 for both locations. And now because you're including clients, does that raise your costs? So in other words,
No.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's truly based upon employee headcount.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. All right. And boy, you know, that's, it's certainly an investment, you know, but it only takes one person, you know, helping one person to make your heart sing, right?
Absolutely. And that's what we thought, you know, if it's going to help one person, it's worth it. And then now you see the numbers and you just see how many. Oh, and we do have, I just saw a chat. We do have between 60, 65 employees right now.
So some people want to know the actual name of the service, and you don't have, you know, sometimes I want to be clear. So you don't have any relationship with this company other than being a customer, correct?
Just a customer.
So you don't have any reason that you'd be promoting this other than the goodwill. Okay. So
Yeah.
what is the name of the service then?
So the service is called Marketplace Chaplains, if you Google it. And then, like I said, we call it a care team in our world here. And they do have both versions, Marketplace Chaplains as well as care team.
Okay. All right. So Michelle just put the link. She's on Michelle on the spot as usual. She's got the link in there. Tammy, thanks so much for sharing this with us today.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Another light bulb that should be coming your way as a frequent member of the Brain Trust. So Tammy, thank you so much. And we're going to bring Tracee to the conversation next, please. All right. So, and I want to pull this out of here. Okay, Tracee is coming. Well, good morning, Tracee.
Good morning.
So you are down in Texas on this beautiful morning. And
Cold.
Cold. Oh boy.
36.
Brr. Okay. All right. So you, your share in some unexpected way is a little bit of a piggyback on what Tammy went through. And I think what you really talked about was leadership team and some things going on there. So I always like to find where people's head and heart is like right now. And this is like literally over the last couple of days for you. So that's awesome. Now, so let's go to your share next, okay? Oh, wait, we should talk about your business a little bit. So you're in the Dallas area, of 2 locations, Davanti, great team and good friends, clients, etc. Great business model. So congratulations on that. Thanks for joining us.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And yeah, when you were telling me about Tammy's share, I thought, wow, wow, because I think I'm living a little bit in that space right now. Just a little bit of context. We do have 2 locations. One is very established, runs like a machine. Okay. And then I've got a startup. I'm still calling it a startup, even though it's been in business 4 years.
Yep. Someone signaled to me if Tracee has frozen here. All right.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. You're frozen. Are we back now, everybody?
I think we're back. I got the message saying that my internet was unstable, but I think I'm back.
Okay, good.
All right. Okay. So where did I leave off?
You were talking about, your 2 locations.
Right. Okay.
And, smaller startup, 4 years. Yep. All right. We are having technical difficulties, I think. All right. So let's see here.
Okay, so we can either try this way, or you can move on to somebody else and I'll log on through my phone.
Let's do the latter, okay?
Okay.
Let's
All right.
take your time. Why don't you relog in on the phone and we'll go from there, okay?
Okay, thanks.
All right, good. So we'll let the plot thicken a little bit for what Tracee's share is. Okay, let's have Christine come to the conversation. Christine Booher. Christine, I've always known you as Clutterbuck, and help me pronounce your last name.
It's Booher.
Booher. Okay. Booher. All right. I'm good with faces and I'm good with names. I'm terrible with pronunciation. So, all right, Christine Booher, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here.
Also from Texas.
Yes.
And your business is another D business, DV8. Okay. And congratulations on acquiring a second location. Let's talk about that for a quick moment. Okay. Because that's new as of January.
That is. We were in the works of it for about 6 months towards the later part of 2021. And then mid-January, it became official and ownership changeover. So Lisa and Candace are the owners. I'm one of the managers. And it's literally 5 miles down the road. So we've got our first location, DV8 in Grapevine. 5 miles down in Colleyville, we've got Elixir. It's an existing business, and this year has been around for 25 years. So a substantial clientele as well as staff. Most of them have been there for anywhere of like 7 to some of them 20 years. So it's been really fun getting to know everyone, and we're just kind of in the throes of learning the operational side, past kind of the due diligence initial piece, and integrating some new systems and processes, but learning anything and everything that we can on a daily basis, because it has been quite an adventure so far.
No doubt. Well, congratulations. Now,
Thank
and your
you.
share today had to do with profitability and pay and levels. And so let's go through that, okay?
Absolutely. Because we coming into 2022, DV8, we have officially launched like a full pricing restructure and increase. We were in a transition phase for the last 10 weeks of 2021 with it. So January brought like a full-fledged transition. And with that, all of the restructure is really been based on profitability. And call me crazy, but I really do believe like our goal is to drive 20 to 30% profitability as the norm. It's a task that definitely takes time, but that is our goal. And that's really kind of where we stood in doing this transition of pricing, wanting to drive that. And what we saw, or what we've been seeing, is that one huge piece of, outside of just the pricing increase aspect, what we were able to do with restructuring this pricing was reevaluate our commission scale. We are a full commission salon on both ends. And what we were able to do was reassess, really identify how we wanted to set that up to be the most strategic for the business in crafting that profitability piece. And based on our team, so prior to this pricing restructure, many of our fresh talent, more fresh stylists, they were falling into our second tier of commissions. So we've got 40, 45, and 50% as our 3 tiers. Oftentimes they were falling into that 45% range, which was awesome for them. However, they're still so fresh and wanting to craft that space for growth and opportunity for them with our career path. It didn't align a ton. So when restructuring this commission scale, we crafted it to where that 40% range was going to be more so where they were falling, but they were they're still now taking home more than what they did previously on the former pricing structure, because the increase has become so high. And what they're seeing return with their clients has allowed for them to be making more at a 40% level than a 45% level, which has allowed for us on the business end, one of those key benchmarks being your provider payroll, that we've reduced from what was between 42 and 45% per month is now falling between 32 and 35%. So a substantial $5,000 to $7,000 decrease in that on a monthly basis for us, which is huge.
Help me with the math here. Do you have a service charge?
We do not.
Okay. So if the average person is between 40 to 45%, how does your payroll end up at 35 to 38%? Yeah, I'm assuming you're basing that percentage compared to services. So
that's to
service
total
revenue.
sales. So revenue,
Okay.
yeah, retail and service.
Okay, I'm hitting you at the pass with a question I know that would have came up because that was the first thing. So that makes sense to me. So there's a little bit of an apple and an orange here. I think the 40, 45, and 50 is based upon service dollars. Okay,
Mhm.
That's what their commission is. But the metric you gave us was based upon total sales.
Correct.
Okay, cool. Got it. I would be curious to see the measurement, how that would flow over to if you did apples to apples. So service provider payroll divided by service sales, because that'll be interesting to look at too. But I have to tell you, I love how much did you say increase in earnings it was per month?
Between 5,000 and 7,000 so
Okay.
far.
Between $60,000 and $84,000 a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's relevant. That's very relevant. Well, anything else? Any other shares from you, Christine, related to P&L, service provider comp, or anything else?
Honestly, I just encourage. I know pricing has become such a hot topic in many areas. Anyone that is feeling, if anyone's on this call feeling like on the fence of whether or not to take a more substantial jump into something more unknown, this would be my encouragement to you to really consider and do the due diligence behind it, because what it can offer and kind of starting the catalyst for driving more profitability is outstanding. And there's some really innovative, cutting edge pricing strategies out there. So it can be really crafted towards your individual salon and set up to be the most effective. It's been outstanding for us and could not encourage it more for others if they're in that time span of needing to do a price increase.
Yeah, totally agree. It's been a frequent topic that we have been pushing price increases for probably, I don't even know how long. It's been a long time. And this is an inflationary economy too. You have to raise your prices just to keep up. Well, all right, on a personal note, if I may go there, I asked you if you're going to be at the Phil, but you have other plans in life. Do you want to share your other plans in life with the group before we bring Tracee back to the mic here?
Yeah, I really want to be at the Phil, but I will be 8 months pregnant at that point. So traveling by plane, I don't think would be the most ideal situation. But yes, so come June, I will have my first child. It'll be a baby boy. So we're very excited, lots of change coming up and just enjoying the ride as we go.
Yeah, you know, and Thomas is a really good name. It's a name that's coming back, and just going to throw that out there. Well, we'll probably see
Duly
it 2 to
noted.
10. Yeah, duly noted. We'll probably see it 2 to 10, and you will officially be multi-location. So thanks for sharing with us today, and congratulations on this baby boy that's going to be joining the world. So
Thank you so much.
all right, Christine, thanks for your generosity. Let's come back to Tracee. All right, Tracee, we got you back. I had all sorts of Zoom challenges yesterday, so I can relate. Can we hear you?
I think you can hear me.
We can hear you loud and clear. All right, please continue.
Okay, so it's not going to let me start my video, so you can just get to see our company logo, I guess. So that's okay.
Okay, yep.
But since January, really, you know, we've actually been engaged with Qnity to help us with our leadership coaching. I have 5 leaders in my organization, 3 of which are very mature, well, 2 of which are very mature, seasoned leaders, and 1 that's kind of very, you know, in the middle on her way up. And then I have 2 that are brand new. Okay. Just so happened that the 2 brand new leaders are over at my fledgling and struggling location. Okay. So my original intention, bringing Qnity in to help us coach up these leaders, you know, to get them where I need them to be more quickly, took a little bit of a different turn than I had thought it would. It's still, we've got that same objective. But what I've realized as an owner, so I have these 2 locations, and one's doing great. It's on a steady trajectory to full return, you know, pre-COVID. But this second location was just going the opposite way. And in fact, the last 2 months, we did get hit with COVID, you know, Omicron. I had somebody out on maternity leave. Seems like everything's been falling on that location. But that location has been pulling in about the same sales numbers that they pulled in the first quarter that I started it up 4 years ago. And it's going down. It's not going up. So, you know, as the owner, I had to go, okay, you know, what's really going on over here? We were bringing some of this up with our Qnity coach, and started sharing some real life scenarios of things that were going on over there. And what I realized is that because all of us were small business owners and we have small teams, sometimes we know too much about people, right? And when we know too much about what's going on with them personally, we even like them. If we didn't like them, they probably wouldn't be working for us, right? You know, but we know too much about what's going on. So as an owner, I had completely lost objectivity about what was really going on in that business. Okay. And the Qnity coach that I was working with would hear me sharing these stories and these frustrations, and then he would repeat back to me what he heard me say. And one of the things that stuck in my mind is he said, Tracee, you've got somebody over there in a leadership role that does not have the capacity to think as broad and as deep as you need them to lead that business for you. He nailed it. And I just took that and I ruminated on it. some other things came up. We did the personality profiles to see the balance of our leadership team, and different things. But anyway, long story short, I had to make some pretty tough decisions, and I've been implementing those this week. So that is what's been on my head and in my heart. So I spent Monday and Tuesday going in and telling my leadership team over there that we're resetting the button, and as the owner, they had to see a side of me that they typically don't see. And it is just like, this is how we're going to do it. So I had to come in and restructure. I had a choice. I either had to fire him or demote him. Okay. So I chose the demotion route because for a couple of different reasons. We do believe he has potential. We do believe we can, with the right coaching and the right structure, that we can get him to where we need him to be should he choose to stay. So yesterday I offered him a new position. Okay. And and he had to think about it, but he ended up taking it. So we're in this transition period right now. But I guess what I wanted to share with everybody, my lessons through this is don't excuse the excuses, which is what I had
light bulb
gotten
moment.
into
JP,
doing.
you got that one? JP, you got that one? Light bulb moment. Keep going.
Okay. Because I've been saying, oh, this is our second location. Oh, we've had COVID. Oh, we've had somebody out on maternity leave. Oh, we've this. Oh, we've that. I was making up my own excuses. So I quit excusing the excuses. Okay. They always had excuses for it too, but I was accepting their excuses and making up my own. The second thing is that I've learned from this as the owner, I have really got to check myself to make sure that I'm not losing objectivity, because at the end of the day, my job is to protect the business so that everybody has good jobs, not that I'm protecting the job of one individual in the business. Okay. So just, having, the Qnity coach kind of slap me on the head and say, because they were completely objective, right? Made me realize they'd lost objectivity. And then the other one is, as owners, it's our responsibility sometimes, all the time, but really to help our teams. Because I have a director of operations. Sometimes we do need to just step in and say, this is how it's going to be, and relieve them of that stress. And then just back to Tammy's thing, I'm going to take the action item to reach out to that marketplace chaplains and see what I can do for my business, because a lot of this negative energy and stress was brought into the salon because of some pretty intense personal situations that I happen to know about, and so I think we could have, if we would have had a program like that in place, could have maybe not let it get to where it got to be.
So what a great share. And Tracee, you said they saw a side of you. Did they see edge, or what side of you did they see they hadn't seen before?
They saw, and maybe they'd seen it before, but maybe not this direct. I had one of those shower moments, when I was preparing, for this meeting, mentally. And I said, I've got to be.
Wait, what's a shower moment? Like you're in the shower and this kind of just.
You're in the shower.
A light bulb in the shower.
Yes. Water's pouring over your head. Maybe you're praying, maybe you're meditating. You're just saying, hey, give me the right words, to say in these meetings. And what came to me is that I needed to be crystal clear. I needed to be concise. And for me, one of my personal values is kindness. So I needed to be kind. But it started in that order: crystal clear, concise. Don't take 2 hours to tell them what I need them to do. And then just be kind in the approach. So.
Well, you've added a whole new vocabulary to us over at Qnity. Shower moments, light bulb moments in the shower. I'm going to play with that one a little bit.
Yeah, just don't get
So-
shocked, right?
I know that was the first thing that came to mind is
Yeah.
that, well, that sounds a little bit dangerous from an electrical standpoint.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we've got some clear is kind, says Carla. Good morning, Carla. Let's see here, taking notes from a Greg, keeping them clear, crystal clear. Good stuff. Let's just see, such a light bulb moment. I know my leadership team has developed more personal relationship with our team as they mentored them throughout all the hardships of the last couple of years. I can, oh, whoops, all these other chats are coming in. It can create its own challenges for sure. Love hearing it. Okay, what a great few shares today, guys. And I'm looking at the clock here. We've got about 10 more minutes. I've certainly got some stuff. Is there anybody that would like to come to the mic today? And Tracee, let's formally acknowledge you and Tammy and Christine. Let's acknowledge the three of you. Guys, please give them a virtual applause and shout out. They have been really great contributors to the Brain Trust over the last 2 years. All three of you guys, Tracee, Tammy, and Christine. So thank you. Give them a big shout out, virtual applause. I hear it ringing in my ears. Okay. All right, so let's see here. We had a potential share that is, hold on, this person had to relocate, so she may or may not be back. Oh, okay. If Nina, if you are back and willing to share, let's give it a shot. Michelle, let's see if Nina had to move over to her handheld, I think. So we're going to give it a moment. Otherwise, if there's anybody else that has something they want to share with the group today, this is a roundtable. Go ahead and put a note in the chat there, okay? So Michelle, let's see if, okay, there's Nina. Nina, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, boy, you pivot quick.
Sorry, I had to jump and run.
No, jump and run is awesome. We're just thrilled you're with us. All right, so you're out in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
2 locations. Each location has a separate name to the business. One's Bella and the other one is something.
Charlotte Thomas.
Thank
Salon.
you. Thank you. It was right at the tip of my tongue, but I didn't want to botch it. And you're also part of 2 to 10, a good friend, a client, and you always got some good stuff going on. So the thing that you mentioned to me that I haven't even gotten privy to it yet, so I'm going to hear it with the rest of us, is some things related with recruitment right now. So let's take a few minutes because I think you feel like that's a best practice.
Yeah. So as far as recruitment goes, we took a really good look when we were, going through, and I think everybody has obviously been through this with struggles with hiring and hiring the right people and finding talent. So one of the things that we've done is we know that they go to social media to check us out. And then with that, we decided that it made we found that it made a huge difference that we share our team through social media, like who our team is, kind of create, like, show our personality, if that makes sense. So, we have team members that take selfies in the salon. So we share that. We might share some videos. We make sure that Employee Appreciation Day just happened. So we went through and we shouted out every single person on our team, regardless of position, whether they're assistant or receptionist or leader, stylist, spa people, everybody. And then we will share things that are personal to them too. I mean, obviously they have to give us approval too, but if a team member gets engaged, and we kind of try to make sure that we're putting our team out there for potential team members to get to know us before even walking in the door. And then all of our team members will also help with sharing ads through their social media. When we have, we're consistently recruiting. We're not necessarily just waiting until we need a stylist or we need a receptionist. Our ads are always out there, and we we align everything with our 8 seasons. So we might do different position focuses in each season, but it's always on our agenda. And then the other thing that we do is we do Indeed ads, and our Indeed ads, we focus on what team members, potential team members are looking for. So we know they're looking for flexibility. We know they want like a fun and positive environment. So we take that and try to break down what we know people are looking for, or what people were looking for when we've done previous interviews. And we highlight those before going into what we're looking for, or what the job description is and what their tasks and responsibilities will be. We focus a lot on people's wants and needs.
You know, a lot of ahas in your share, and one that really jumps out to me relates with 8 seasons, and you know, how recruitment should be part of your 8 seasons planning. And each season have very distinctive things that relate with recruitment. You always have to be recruiting. And I thought it was really interesting. You have sort of a position focus for the different seasons. So that's cool. All right, Nina, thank you. Great share as usual.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us today, in transit or not in transit. And we will see you at the Phil, which is awesome.
Yep.
So thank you.
Looking
All right.
forward to it. Thanks, Tom.
Let's give Nina a virtual round of applause. I think that Carla we should wrap this thing up right now. Carla Lopez, good friend out in California. Maybe Carla, you can put it in the chat. Love to hear what your share is. I've got a couple other things before we wrap up, guys. We are on next week. We do have our guest is going, I'm really excited about this. I'm always excited about our guests, whether it's a clubhouse type format like this with multiple favorite members of our community, or someone fresh. So this next guest is going to be Shane Price of Green Circle. He is the founder and CEO of Green Circle up in Toronto. He's a very smart guy, kind, very impact driven. Green Circle is a for-profit business. And so we're going to take a little bit of behind the scenes look at Shane as an entrepreneur and a leader, and some of the things he's done in his Green Circle business. And then of course he'll talk about sustainability and other things that are very important topics. So very excited about next week's guest, Shane Price. And I have some final things for all of you, which I'm getting to as we speak. I'm going to share the screen one more time. And I've got to do a better job at this. Here we go. Okay, everybody. Sorry about the long transition here. Okay, and where we're at is, okay. All right, so again, shout out to Nina, Christine, Tammy, and Tracee, and then Carla, you too, thank you, as well as all of you that shared in the chat. I'm gonna see who's in or on the call right now. Participants, we have Amanda, Anna, Andrea, Andrew, Ashley, Candace G, Candace H, Charlene. Hi, Charlene. It's been a long time. Cheyenne, Heather, Holly, Jan, Jared. Good morning, Jonathan, and Julia, and Karen, and Carrie, and Carla, and Kelly, and Con, and Kristen, and Linda, and Lisa, Marie, Megan, Michael, Ronan. I think that's actually Joe. I don't think that's actually Ronan from Ireland. Cigar, Sam, Sharon, Terry, and Vanessa. So a usual great turnout, great group of participants. Thanks for joining us. Remember to put in your recognition for the Qnity Impact Award. Is going to include a celebration at the Phil. It's also going to be something we will publish and do PR on. Those that we recognize with the Impact Award. Again, go to our website, enroll. You don't have to be a Qnity client to do that. And if you haven't registered for the Phil and Light Bulb moments, you should. All right, so we certainly hope we're going to see you at the Phil. Money Pro is coming. And then Tracee gave a great example of the power of working with a Qnity coach. So if you're looking to create breakthroughs in your business through some outside stimulus in the form of a coach and advisor, certainly reach out to us to book a complimentary discovery call. Sponsors, Pivot Point, who we work with on the school division of our business. We work with them on our money course for students. We're already up to, I think, over 13,000 students that are going to have financial literacy training. How great is that for them to come into your business understanding what the business actually looks like? It creates a lot of angst between professionals coming into the marketplace without basic financial literacy. And we're hoping to make a difference in that area. If you are a school, you can go to qnityforschools.com to book a demo. Shout out also to Lightheart Sanders, Jared, and members of his team. I think Jared's with us today. A great guy, great firm. Closing thoughts. I think was very inspired by Tammy's program and what a difference that actually made in her being able to provide the kind of support that's needed for so many today. So anyway, Carla said, because I never find the time in my day to visit schools, I decided that I would bring them to me. Okay, that's a good share. We'll have to draft Carla into our conversation in upcoming weeks. So, all right, guys, that is going to be a wrap today. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to members of the Brain Trust that kicked in. We'll see you next Wednesday, the same place, same time, different guest and different conversation. All the best and hope to see you soon. Bye.